Hello, everyone. Unless you are interested in Hungarian politics, you probably won't know what is happening in my country. Interesting things are happening, kind of like what we mentioned when we say the biggest Chinese curse is "May you live in interesting times." I usually don't focus on politics, although I am interested in politics, of course, because my own country and my own nation has a very soft spot in my heart. But I usually don't allow myself to comment on daily politics, maybe world politics sometimes. But it is an interesting moment at the right now. You probably know what is happening in the sky, but let's take a look, because soon we will have the exact Chiron North Node conjunction. But until then, there is this nice station, not astrological station, but momentum, let's put it this way. If you look at it, there is an exact Venus-Pluto conjunction on the exact position where the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction was on the 21st of December 2020. And you probably know, if you are well versed in astrology, that this is called a major conjunction, and it usually signifies a new era. Jupiter and Saturn are destiny planets. Jupiter gives you hope and prosperity and expansion and optimism, and Saturn gives you chores and burdens and things to take care of. And the two of them usually sets off a new era, and this is exactly what happened in 2020. Now, a couple of days ago on Valentine's Day, we had an exact Mars Pluto conjunction. You might remember that. If not, you can actually watch that video. I posted it about a week ago because I found it very important. I did find it disturbing that these three planets are exactly conjunct at late Capricorn, early Aquarius. And now, of course, all three are in Aquarius, because at the moment, it means that you have actually five planets, out of which four are personal planets in the sign Aquarius, which is the sign of revolt and freedom urges and also creating chaos. And if you look at the United States, you see the same chaos. If you look at Europe, you see again. And what I'm afraid of is that we are here in Europe, we are having a Hamilton moment. If you don't know what a Hamilton moment is, Google it. It is when the 13 original states of the United States of America jointly took a loan, usually a big one, and then from then on they were intertwined. They had to become a big empire, and this is when the American empire started off. So we have a Hamilton moment at the moment in Europe, and the powers that be want us to become some sort of conglomerate, really, because that I don't really like the idea. I simply think that there are two ways to look at Europe. You could have some sort of liaison, some sort of cooperation of nation states, where each nation state could keep their own language, their own culture, their own roots, their own choices. But of course, if you are going to form it into an empire, then it's going to be like some sort of mixed race population who doesn't have roots, who doesn't have a culture, and doesn't have a hopeful future either. And this is such a Hamilton moment at the moment in European history. This is what I think. So here's the chart for London, and it's at 8:48 a.m. on February 17th. You will have Venus and Pluto exactly conjunct at 0 degrees something in Aquarius, right where the Saturn-Jupiter era starting conjunction was. And if you take a look at the chart, Chiron and the North Node are rising, and there's an interesting midpoint with the North Node Chiron conjunction, North Node Chiron conjunction with dark moon Lilith and Aries, but there are other participants we are going to look at. There's this triple conjunction that I'm talking about. Ceres is on the midheaven. Pallas Athena and asteroid Lilith are conjunct. They are traveling together at the moment. And Black Moon Lilith and Juno are in an applying conjunction in the London chart and also elsewhere, of course. And so that's the main chart. And let's take a look at this dissociate and partly energetic and non-closing platform. This platform will close because the sun next day will be at 29 degrees Aquarius, and by then the 30-degree will be closing, definitely with Pluto. It may not close with Venus again because again there might be more than 30 degrees, but with Pluto, the Sun-Pluto semi-sextile will be closing. And soon, of course, the Sun will also make a semi-sextile with Mars. Mars at the moment is quite fast, much faster than average, so it might take a couple of days. But as you can see, this platform is not closing here, but it will be closing. The Sun will be closing it. And platforms are places where you can step onto, so it's like a soapbox, and you can become a soapbox speaker, like in Hyde Park. And it means that you have something to say, something to announce, something to let the others know. But this particular soapbox is rickety a bit because it doesn't have the leg. It's missing still, but it will be there a day later. And if you take a look at the numbers, of course, Mars is kind of coming out of the picture in a bit, but since there's a triple conjunction, I left it there. And these aspects are quite tight, but partly dissociate, and of course, partly it's a non-closing platform as well. Now let's take a look. The platform's base, or the base of the platform, is a quincunx. And by now, if you watch my videos, you probably know that bidirectional quincunxes are more likely to work as a trine. And because, you know, the problem with quincunxes is that sometimes they work as a trine and sometimes they work as an opposition or a square. So they are very difficult to understand, and it's a disruptive feeling, because, you know, with squares, you know, they are shitty, they give you daily incidents. With trines, you know, that's a flowing energy, but with quincunxes, that sometimes it is this and sometimes that's that. It's very, very difficult to actually understand what's going on. And this particular dissociate quincunx is in trine energy. So although it is not bidirectional, this quincunx may work as a trine. So the basis of the whole thing is a trine between Astrea, karma breaking, and the triple conjunction of Venus-Pluto. And by the way, Venus-Pluto, Judy Hall always talked about Venus-Pluto aspects in general as the emotional black hole. Even the flowing aspects produce this curious energy feeling that I will never receive enough love. Because the black hole is just swallowing it. You might remember that the Mars-Pluto conjunction, although I talked about it as a sexual aspect, because, you know, the Valentine's Day celebration gave me the potential to talk about that. Of course, it is a very bloody triple conjunction. It's Mars-Pluto is always about violence, and Venus-Pluto is always about the emotional black hole and money black hole as well. And this is what you see, for instance, in the Ukrainian war, that we are pouring money into this black hole, which is being swallowed constantly by war, by corruption, and nothing is ever happening. Nothing is actually happening. Nothing is actually going to resolve the problem until the last Ukrainian force. That's what George Soros or his little son, Alex Soros, wants us to accept, that the war will go on until the last Ukrainian. The fact that they are wiping out a whole generation, that they are mutilating a country. And believe me, if the West would not finance this, the war would end in one day. It's really and you know what? Watch the interview of Putin by Tucker Carlson. You will be surprised. You will actually be surprised, especially when you compare Putin, the dark devil, to Biden. It will be a really interesting and shocking difference. I'm not using any other words for that. Okay, so that's the platform's base, and then the two trines inside, which again there is another Earth trine, a true Earth trine between Australia and the Sun. Partly on erratic, of course, but still there. So it's like let's talk about the issues. And the other trine is a dissociate trine because it is actually working like a square. And then the top is a fixed square between the Sun and Sedna. And this simply means that, okay, we need to rearrange and it's creation through dissection, and we need to do something about it. We need to look at it and recreate something else, but we don't actually know how because we are being stuck in these energies. Let's take a look at the transcendental celestial objects. On the Sun, you have Icarus, and it means that if you go too high without care, then you will be burned. Then your wings will just melt and disappear, and you will fall into the ocean and die. On Venus, Pluto, there's Zeus, the chief god, and on Mars, you have Apophis, Orius, and Amicus. Three really ugly things. Apophis is the snake in the Egyptian mythology that is swallowing the sun, destruction, complete destruction. And Orius is the centaur who is half bear, half human, who is the great grandson of Ares, and that is why although he is tearing people apart, and Zeus wants to punish him, he's getting away with it because he's who he is. And then Amicus means that we are fighting with really horrible ways and completely dishonest and completely horrible tactics. And that's what's happening in the world. And this is on Mars. So it's really, if you look around, this is what you see. And on Sedna, you have Cyrus and the Pleiades. Now, this is an interesting connotation because Sedna means creation through dissection. And Cyrus was the Persian empire builder, Cyrus the Great. So actually, we have in front of our eyes an empire that is being created, and it will have horrible consequences for nation states. Or we can choose the goddess, because the Pleiades is the stars of the Pleiades are the home constellation for the creator goddess. So those are the two potentials, how to create a new world. And on Australia, you have a number of things, because you have Odysseus, someone who is the adventurer. We can call him the adventurer. Chaos, program chaos is happening all around us. And three bright stars, Polaris, Betelgeuse, and Mancalian, which are all at the very same astrological degree, 29 Gemini, 0 Cancer, but at very, very different positions in the sky. Sometimes I showed it already to you, but I'm going to show it again. So actually, Australia, the karma breaker, the destiny changer, tells us, okay, we can have an adventure in this chaotic world when we can actually use some really bright celestial energies in order to succeed. And here are the three bright stars. As you can see, Polaris is our pole star at the moment. Betelgeuse is the eastern shoulder of the celestial hunter, or Orion, and it gives us luck and success without anything hindering it. So it's really one of the best stars, according to Bernard Brady. And then Mancalian is Alpha Auriga, actually Beta Auriga, sorry, Beta Auriga, and Auriga, the charioteer. To me, this constellation describes the chariot in the tarot, major arcana. And it's an interesting card because most of the tarot readers, when this card is drawn, say that, oh, this is brilliant, you're going to win. Yeah, but this card, this chariot, is really not moving anywhere. It's just on. If you take a look at the picture, it's just stored. The two sphinxes, which are supposed to carry this this thing are just in just almost sleeping, just waiting for jumping, but really not moving. So the whole card is not moving anywhere, and it illustrates to me that okay, yes, you can win if you know what you want, if you know where to proceed and how to proceed, and what directions to take. So that's Menkalian. So these are the 3 stars on Astrea. So you can actually uh, break old embedded karma through it. And here are the midpoints. As I told you, and actually this chart is probably, this is the Budapest. It doesn't really matter. I should have. I thought I remade this drawing. Anyhow, I'm again doing too many things at the same time, but the fact remains, it doesn't really matter for you. Just pay attention to the inner aspects, which are all among the quintile series, ingeniousness, and noviles, which are sacrifice. So they are minor aspects, but as you can see, it's not between the 2 midpoint creators, it's just between themselves. But here it is. First of all, Chiron North Node conjunction is this year's one of this year's major karmic astrological features. It means that your chosen destiny is meeting your wounds. And it's really important to understand these wounds and to realize that we can't actually heal these wounds only by healing other people who have similar wounds. And this midpoint is on the dark moon Aries midpoint on the one hand. Aries means drastically altered outward circumstances. What you see now, our world, our old world is being disrupted completely, and there's really no turning back. So what used to be there is no longer there and never will be. We never will be able to recreate it. And here is a dark moon Lilith, which is the acceptance of the curse. I think this is very telling. At the same time, there's the Hygeia-Uranus midpoint as well. So there is hope because Hygeia means sacred spaces, cleanliness, health, how to keep our own health, definitely not by eating insects, just to let you know. And Uranus is change and how to change. And by the way, this Uranus is ruling the five planets in Aquarius, Mars, Venus, Pluto, Mercury, and the Sun. So this is a very important midpoint because it means that by changing stuff, we can actually create some kind of new sacred space. And there's also the Mars Astrea midpoint, which means that by utilizing and exercising the will, we can actually change old embedded karma and create a new destiny. And this is this Mars, by the way, rules this or this traffic jam in Aries. So yes, there is hope. It's a very dangerous moment in time. I don't really like the fact that there are so many Aquarian things because it means that yes, this is the time for change. And the older you are, the more rigid you are, the more fixed positions you have in your natal chart, the less you are able to change. And the world is changing around us. And if you don't come up with survival kits, survival ideas, we are not going to make it. So actually, let's pay attention. Let us be the wind of change and don't allow others to tell us what to do and how to live and what to drive and what to eat and where to travel and things like that. That's a very decisive moment, I think. And I'm going to look at the exact moment when Chiron is conjunct the North Node in 2 days' time, and we are going to look at it as well. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.